So we have Biden falling up the stairs once, twice. 3 strikes, you're out. He was toddling up there like a buffoon. And Trump Jr. wasted no time in tweeting a golf image, as you can probably see. Now we have a president that can't walk up the stairs, can't talk and has a hard time thinking. And a fall at 78 is significant with doctors and medically. You know, if a 78-year-old falls down, you start worrying and start making some calls. Now, the mainstream media gave Trump grief for, you know, taking it easy going down a ramp, saying, you know, he's not spry, he's not up to the job, his mental capacity may be going. Should we kill him? What should we do? And they brought it in, big kerfuffle, and they each put each other on each other's show, so it looked like everyone was talking about it. Really, it was only about 6 people. But they gave him a hard time for taking it easy on a ramp, and here we have Biden, you know, falling up the stairs, then getting up to the top, the little old fool, spinning around and saluting to, you know, it was no one. You know, he saluted no one. Now, they blame the wind. They blame the wind. Is that worse? That the wind knocked over this, the wind can knock over the president. Is that worse than just saying he might be a little bit too old for this job? I don't know. And is this the man that you really want debating Putin? Well, Putin wants to do it on YouTube, but I can't see Biden doing it. Can you? Can you really see him holding this together? He was reading off a little card. So Biden gave his first full speech. Yes. Didn't he do well? Ah, yes, didn't he do well? I don't know about that. I mean, he bumbled his way through it, giving answers and talking points and coming back to, you know, race and equity and diversity and, come on, you know the thing, man. We all pledge allegiance to the, you know. He went into that mode. And, you know, these were easy questions. There were no questions like, you being a Nazi dictator and who hates all people of any persuasion that isn't your own, do you sometimes snacks on babies and lies about getting people McDonald's burgers? You! What do you think about the latest tax increase? Because I imagine if you can clip it quite well, you can actually get some sort of speech out of that. But really, I mean, we had pre-written answers from a little car because you can't bring anything to mind. We had non-answers, you know, where he'd get lost halfway through, stop speaking, and then wander off, wander back, go forward, crazy smile come on face, you know, all these things, crazy smile on face. That's the one, you know. And then we've got YouTube hiding his dislikes on the Biden videos and the mainstream media fawning over him. Oh, isn't it nice to have a change? I mean, from Nazi to old man, isn't that a nice? And yes, listen, anyone who thinks we've gone from Nazi to old man, yes, I mean, that would be rather significant. But anyone who thinks we went from bombastic man who was slightly on the ball to old man who's being led around and has no idea what's going on, I think we all looked at this and went, oh my God. Well, the biggest trial of the, I don't know, not century. It's up there with OJ, I think. We still haven't got over OJ. You bring that up any time at a dinner table and it's just phenomenal. Phenomenal. The riff starts here. So, Derek Chauvin, George Floyd, 9 minutes on the neck, fentanyl, methamphetamines in the system, a legal hold, it seems, from the police. This was authorized by their division, that this was instructed, how they must hold a suspect after they've been arrested. There are pictures of it. And so you've got that element, you've got the element of fentanyl, and you've got the element of methamphetamines and other narcotics in there. They brought up caffeine, and I thought, oh yeah, I guess that would come up on a sheet somewhere, caffeine, you know? But it does seem strange. It does seem strange to anyway. So he had a lot of intoxicants. He was acting as they released some footage, CCTV footage from the shop. He's all over the place. He's talking, he's wobbling, he's moving, he's dancing, he's walking funny. But that's not a crime. That is definitely not a crime. You know, you can be fucked up. So we've got him acting and, as the witness said, suspiciously and as if he was on drugs, and the footage seems to show that. You've got the fact that he was struggling and resisting arrest from the full 20-minute clip. For the moment he is seen by the police officers that approach the car. He's saying he can't breathe. He's uncomfortable, he can't breathe, he's asking for help, he's calling to his friends, he's calling to Mama, which may not be his mother, may be the name he calls his girlfriend, no less tragic, but an element. So when everyone was saying, you know, it was so sad to see him crying out to his mother, maybe he was crying out to his girlfriend. Still sad. But we have that. We have the fact that he says he can't breathe many times. And as we know from taking a lot of drugs, and being exasperated and being scared and thinking you may get arrested and this could be another line on a long, you know, criminal rap sheet, you know, you get yourself into this worked up state. Even the witnesses, even his friends who are in the car, at one point yell out, stop resisting, stop resisting. The cop is able to go over to them. They don't have ID, but he gets all the information he wants. He's not aggressive or violent to them in any sort of way. So we've got him dealing with them, and then you get back to George Floyd, and he's a very large man, isn't he? Big guy. And he's really high on this Chinese heroin. And it's really strong, and he's taking uppers and downers, and he's got a concoction of drugs, and he's being arrested, and he's scared, and he doesn't want to go back in. He doesn't want to get caught. So they try and get him in the car, finally. They've got him, but he's laying flat in the car, and they're saying, we'll put the windows down, we'll sit with you, don't worry. And he's screaming, please, don't leave me, don't leave me. And the cops are saying, we're not going to leave you, we're not going to leave you. Trying to get him in the car, and then I can't breathe, and he's kicking, and they can't restrain him, and he says, I want to lay on the floor. I think those lines will be very key. I want to lay on the floor. So the guys get him out, they put him on the floor, and they lean on him. A procedure that they've been taught by their own association, by the department, whatever you call it. And now it does say they should put the person into a recovery position, and this didn't seem to happen. This may be a big problem, but it doesn't seem like they're going to get him on a really hardcore murder charge. They can't prove that this was racial. At no point is anything racial said. There is nothing racial. You've got a white cop, a Latino cop, an Asian cop, and a black cop, and all four of them. Nothing racist is said. Chauvin and Floyd knew each other, but it's not like anything came up. He didn't say, like, you scumbag, I know, blah, blah, blah. No past history came up. It seemed to be very by the books. Problem is, he wasn't put into the recovery position. But I don't think you can say that Chauvin went out there with any malicious intent. He didn't try to kill this guy. He may have been frustrated. He may have knelt on him a little bit too hard. But this was the procedure, just to try and contain him. They dealt with him for 20 minutes, being highly erratic. The shop, he'd been erratic. He'd also said he's claustrophobic after being in his car. Which is if you keep yelling you're claustrophobic, and then, but you've been in a very, very small car as a large man, and then you're getting brought into another car, I feel that's a hard argument. But we'll see. It seemed either way. There's going to be riots, isn't there? Now we have had an activist who has been trying to take pictures from within the courthouse, possibly putting these jurors at risk, who immediately said, I had no idea that you couldn't take pictures in here, even though we know those places are full of placards everywhere. No smoking, no guns, no pictures, mask, you must criminal this way, non-criminal that way, everything. Pull your pants down, cough, little hand with the balls. We know they're everywhere. So I'm pretty sure that this, an interesting way of getting a case dismissed, or putting the fear into the jurors that if you don't give us the answer we're looking for, well, we know where you live. We know what you look like. You're easy to find. These are all the worries of modern day society. Trust me, I know. Now, it's likely that they have overcharged Derek Chauvin with second-degree murder. Unfortunately, you have to prove that he had some sort of wish, or plan to kill someone and actively thought about doing this, rather than just being an accidental circumstance of these two people coming together and an unfortunate situation happening out of that. And this has been ramped up by the Grammys, who have been doing videos of rioting, you know, and rap videos, showing it to be cool. Absolutely, go out there, burn, smash, loot, rap, smash, loot, smash, rap, throw Molotov, rap. Look at my lovely video. And one of the great things is when all these montages of videos come out, they're going to have a wonderful soundtrack to go with them. And the courthouse has prepared itself with cement blocks, bars and barricades, readying itself for, you know, the peaceful protests that are sure to come. That's what you need. You need barbed wire for peaceful protests. I've heard this before. It's peaceful barbed wire. They should spray paint it pink. Peaceful cement. Peaceful Molotov cocktail. Peaceful assassination. An assassination of peace. I like it. Anyway, sorry. So there have been 2 mass shootings, and everyone, was itching to say white supremacy. Come on now, white supremacy, confirm my bias, you know. And then, sadly, as always tends to happen, the information came out, didn't it? It just strolled right out there, and we had the first one. 6 Asian ladies, 6 Asian women, 6 Asian ladies, massage therapists, were shot terribly. And 2 white women were shot. Now, the person did say the reason for them doing it. He blamed it on a sex addiction that these women had encouraged. Not quite the white supremacy that everyone first jumped to, huh? Yes. It seems like he just had too many happy endings. And got a little bit mad. And went there and shut up the place. Now, this is terrible. This is absolutely horrible. But it doesn't show any form of racism. It doesn't seem like he went there to get them. And it doesn't show that he was trying to bring on a race war or any sort of, I don't know, white supremacist Nazi type feelings. It looks like he just liked to a little too much, you know. And then the second one, boom! This is it. This is the one. This is the... God damn it. Arabic guy with ISIS sympathies. Now the media were clambering over themselves, weren't they? They were clambering over themselves. Let's call this white supremacy, but unfortunately these were not the racists you are looking for. Move along. And that was the case. This is what happens when you come into a situation with an ideology, I feel. You know, if you look through the prism of race, if you look through the prism of sex, of gender, of this or that, you'll find problems anywhere. And you'll want to see them, and you're going to look for them, and you're going to go through life looking at all the minutiae of the world and trying to find it everywhere. And believe me, you will find it in some... You may even find it in soup. Who knows? I'm sure there's a racist soup out there. But life doesn't really work like that. Look, these were 2 people. One may have had ISIS sympathies and may have been fundamentalist in a lot of ways. Maybe have been ginned up by the media telling them, you know, white people hate you, they're coming for you, they're holding you back, you're not equal, you'll never get the same. Maybe this affected him somehow and he lost it. Maybe the other one was the recipient of that kind of language. You are the devil. You are evil. You're privileged. You with no life except for porn. You know, no future, no prospects. You're the reason for Will Smith's, I don't know, for what's holding Will Smith back. I imagine that could affect you if you're not doing well. Maybe you're medicated, maybe you're sad, maybe you're lonely, maybe you're isolated, maybe you're on social media, maybe you fall into an echo chamber of wrong ideas. But this was not white supremacy. So, Trump, CNN, the Democrats and Republicans have all surprisingly joined forces to yell at Biden for holding kids in cages at the border. Kids in cages, kids in cages, kids in cages, running at the border. So, you know, it's kind of interesting. Who would have thought? All the way across the board, all yelling at Biden. He's not having a good time of it, is he, people? I mean, this is worse than anything we've seen since Biden and Obama, you know, building them the first time. Now, horrific photos have surfaced via Project Veritas, showing adults and children wrapped up in silver blankets packed together like little burritos. Aptly. The Democrats have asked the press to stay away and not to report on the crisis, and have also thanked AOC for sitting this one out, who has said there is no crisis at the border. That's white supremacy. And the images that you see, that's white supremacy too. And then she said this on, she said the word surge was a racist term invoking insurgents because she doesn't understand syntax and language. Idiot. And now she's come around. She said, oh, wait, there is a border crisis. It's because we're not doing enough. We need to open the border more, which was the whole reason for this in the first place. I mean, we have footage of an illegal immigrant saying that the only reason that they've attempted the border crossing this time is because of Biden's weakened immigration policies. You tell people 100 days and there will be no deportations. You try and get in there, man. Get in it. Let's get in there now. So yes, I mean, say what you will about Trump, it was working. So the White House press secretary has promised to circle round, as she so often does. She's a favorite, isn't she? I'm not going to give you an answer. I'll tell you again next time. And next time, I'll tell you I'm not going to give you an answer. Just circle around. Perpetual. Well, she's promised to circle around to the fact that the Mexican cartels are seizing on Biden's lax border policies to run multi-million-dollar human trafficking schemes, and are using families as decoys to smuggle single adults, with each being worth up to $9,000, along with a whole lot of drugs. With footage showing them saying that they would never have tried this under Trump, the journey, they are seizing on reforms to ratchet up human trafficking operations in the Rio Grande witches. That's good, isn't it? This is also hindered by the fact that the new migrant caravans are attempting to bombard the border, creating a bigger crisis than we've ever seen. So Psaki, that's going to be one big circle, baby. I wish you luck. White supremacy. I mean, how does AOC come up with it? It's genius. What is this? Gum on your shoe. White supremacy. What's that? Oh, a dead cat. White supremacy. What's that? Oh, I have a sweaty forehead. White supremacy. Genius. So, there's been a rise in Jewish and Asian hate crimes, with mainstream media blaming Trump and white supremacy, ignoring the fact that the perpetrators are largely black and Arabic. Including the latest viral video of an old Asian lady being severely beaten on CCTV in front of a shop with security guards looking on and not helping, which has upset a lot of people. I think we'd be talking about this very differently if it was perhaps a white person who kicked this poor lady on the floor, but no one really wants to talk about this. Now, knowing the figures, it chooses to frame it as a rise in hate crimes. This is what they keep saying over and over again. A rise in hate crime. There has been a rise in hate crime. While constantly talking about the dangers of white supremacy, implying that this may have been white supremacy if you don't read a few paragraphs down in the news report. But if you look a little closer, we see that large, significant figures of Jewish hate crimes are perpetrated from black people, as we can see in the videos, and large numbers of the Asian hate crimes, or those perpetrated on Asian people, are also perpetrated by black people. Now, I'm not saying it's only. I'm sure white people are getting in there and trying their very damnedest too. You know, I'm sure Asians are giving it some welly back, and a big old fun ball of hate, you know. You also have the problem that black on black crime is also up, with a lot of the defund the police speak that is being spoken about, and defunding the police and de-arming people and stronger gun control laws and all of this. is leading there to be record high rocketing homicide rates. So with all of this, I guess everyone does love kung fu fighting, hey? So I was a big fan of Ellen Page. I was, yeah. But this Elliot Page, I don't know. I'm not so sure about. I think it's a charisma issue. And there's a boyfriend out there who's just realizing that they are now gay. Captain America is now gay. It's the most important thing in the world, isn't it? It's what we've all been waiting for. Captain America is gay, and he's a social justice avenger. How wonderfully topical. Yes, Hulk has said he's looking forward to nights out with poppers, thumping techno and repeated Hulk smashings. Mjolnir is still nowhere to be found. But yes, this is what we need. We need gay Avengers. Because when you watch a movie, if your exact personal being is not in the movie, then the movie is obviously evil and doesn't represent you, and you should have it blown up, taken away, and a movie made solely about you. Everyone should have a movie made about them. That's what Hollywood should do. I want my own movie. So China unloaded a 15-minute tirade at American diplomats, saying America is killing its black citizens while actually committing genocide against the Uyghur Muslims and gays and journalists and dissidents and Hong Kong and everyone else. Which I think is a little bit rich, don't you? The US is in no position to talk to China from a position of strength, it said. Ending talks with "Fuck you, America! Fuck you!" Now this is playing on the US liberals' weakness. They ridiculed with the word baizu, a joke term for those in the woke cult of political social justice. Falling back on the old saying of "I know you are, but what am I?" and looking smug. That's what China's done here. Teen Socialist. Teen Vogue. Excuse me. Teen Vogue editor-in-chief, woke POC, hers, them, plus, has been cancelled by a woke internet mob of 7 egg profiles for tweeting POC on POC Asian discrimination 10 years ago when she was 17. Asian discrimination. Sounds like a punk band in the 80s. Right, and let's see what's going on around the world. So Piers Morgan is back, baby, and he's ready to piss off everyone on every side all over again. The man with the features of a ball bag of a fetus, as he's affectionately known by his friends, will be starting a new show judging damaged teenage dancers while arguing politics with the British Bulldog. It's going to be wild. So Antifa, Black Lives Matter and Extinction Rebellion riots took place in Bristol, England. The riots, labelled "Kill the Bill," sounds peaceful, protests, were at first touted by many of the mainstream media as peaceful. 20 officers were injured, with some sustaining broken bones and a punctured lung, with around 500 serious activists being shielded by around 3,000 idiots. Useful idiots, as they've been termed. Police cars were burned, windows smashed, and hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of damage and arson were caused. One female activist also took the time to defecate on the policeman's shoe, with British politicians largely saying "harumph" and "this is unacceptable, this is unacceptable," showing that fighting spirit Britain. Now Scotland has imposed more speech laws after one of their ministers received some mean tweets on Twitter. And rather than sticking with the old proverb of "sticks and stones may break my bones," they've decided that people can be jailed up to 7 years for inappropriate posts and super spicy memes on your phone. That sounds about rational, doesn't it? Bringing online memers in line with manslaughterers and paedophiles and rapists, which I think we can all agree is absolutely appropriate, and why there are now no jokes in Scotland. None whatsoever. It's a joke-free zone. In other places, the Pakistani Prime Minister, Imran Khan, tests positive for COVID-19 one day after receiving the Chinese-manufactured vaccination, a Sinopharm. So he's back in lockdown with unconfirmed rumours of a possible new strain, or Possibly, China, you are really pushing my suspension of disbelief. You really are. Huh? And it seems that Australia has angered God. I mean, someone had to do it, right? As it's been hit by swarms of rats alongside huge floods during the middle of a pandemic and extreme lockdown measures and thunderstorms. It's madness. So, locusts and nervous-looking firstborns are expected amongst the old criminals. We've got Uyghur Muslims in Chinese concentration camps. But the NBA and Disney are getting filthy rich, so good times for them, lecturing you on your morality while, endorsing literal evil. Mumford & Sons star praises book about the dangers of extremism and cancel culture, then gets cancelled by cultural extremists. He's done the usual response of deleting Twitter, apologising to every egg that yells at him, and getting banished by the band. And in the sports news, peaceful protests took a big loss this week, only scoring 1. Riots and arson winning with a massive 14. Systemic racism 9. And second week in a row, middle-aged white guys 0. Better luck next time, guys. And in tennis news, freedom of speech lost 6-2, 6-2, 6-1, and a total shutout to You Hurt My Feelings. So, that's about it. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, because it can only get better, right? This is the beginning of something here. But yes, join me next time and we can see what you can see.